Today is chapter 8, ST44, ST44.8, page 79. Today we're going to study the Sona Kolivisa Theragatha, the verses of the elder Sona Kolivisa. This is THA or Theragatha 632 to 644. The Theragatha is a collection of poems. In other words of joy, uttered or exclaimed by the monks and also the nuns. There is the Therigatha when they are soon after they awaken, and these verses normally recollect something about their past, usually how they suffered, and then how they found the Dhamma, and then how they practice, how they awaken. So it's a kind of witnessing the Dhamma, kind of telling a story about themselves to inspire future generations, people like us. In fact, compared to the Theragatha, the Therigatha is more beautiful. Sometimes some of the Therigatha, in fact a lot of Therigatha deal with nature. So we have kind of very beautiful descriptions of nature. Remember, in poetry, poetry tries to go beyond the limits and bounds of language. The words are used to express or to point towards feelings, ideas, which words normally are unable to express. So, in other words, here these verses refer to the second category of the Dharma, of the two teachings in the Nayata Nitata Sutta. Nayata means the meaning should be drawn out. Nitata means the meaning is already explicit, drawn out already. For example, when the Buddha simply says, these are the three characteristics, these are the five aggregates, that's quite direct, very clear. So this refers to the direct teaching. Okay? It's very important, the Buddha says, that we should notice what level is the Dhamma being taught. Whenever the Buddha mentioned things like a being, names of people, stories, right? So here we include even words like Amitabha, Pure Land, Zen, Theravada. All these terms, they are worldly conventions. They are fingers pointing to something further, in other words. So the poems are like that. They point to something higher. But there's something interesting, even unique about the poems, because the purpose of the poems is to cultivate joy, to make us feel what awakening is like. And as I said a number of times before, if people are to ask you what is the one thing for a practitioner, for a beginner, what is that one teaching that's most important in Buddhism? Just one word. I would say that word is joy. Joy. We can use the word sukha, the word piti sukha, or pasada, if you like. Joy. Okay, the English word joy covers all these senses. Okay? Because without joy, you do not want to come for sutta class, you do not want to practice meditation, you do not want to do anything. You must have joy. Joy is what engages you to something that you have to do, that you need to do. So for your meditation to succeed, it must have the catalyst of joy. Alright, so this verses, Theragatha, has one key idea behind it, that is joy. Even where the verses talk about suffering and pain, these are prelude to something beautiful, something happy. I mean, if you really want to see all this expression and experience of joy, then you should read the Subha Terigata. That it's a long series of beautiful nature poems. It's this like a duet actually between this very nasty ex-boyfriend of this beautiful nun called Subha and the nun herself. So you find this very beautiful exchange of words and description of nature and so on. So here in this sutta we find more of teachings of the Dharma describing how Sona attains awakening. Now there are many people named Sona, it's a very common name. So here we have something like a second name, Kolivisa. So we know it's Sona, Kolivisa. Once we mention Sona, Kolivisa, I think the first thing that should come to mind is the fact he did walking meditation and he overdid it until his feet bled. That is the Sona. And there are other Sonas. The Sona who went to Sona Paranta and so on. So this Sona, we have done another sutta by him some time ago. Here we only look at, we have done previously what's called the Sona Kolivisa Sutta A6.55. This is done in SD 20.12 in case you want to revise the sutta. So just as a reminder, Sona Kolivisa comes from a very influential family of King Bimbisara in Magadha. He was a landlord, Kutumbika, and also an eminent house lord, Kahapati. In other words, he owns a house at least and some land and so on. In fact, he leads a very easy life, very comfortable life. So much so that he is sometimes called Sukumala Sona. Sukumala means delicate, Sona the delicate. In other words, he lives a very protected life, easy life, so to speak. Yeah? And you can translate Sukumala roughly as easy life Sona, if you like. Okay? Sukumala. In fact, he leads such an easy life. His hands are soft, his feet are soft. That is why when he did a walking meditation, his feet bled. He walked up and down very determined until the walkway looked like a slaughterhouse, says the commentary. And then the Buddha told him to take the middle way. And according to the sutta about Sona, he was a lute player who plays a sitar, three-string lute. So the Buddha taught him about the middle way. So here we look at him uttering verses of joy in connection with this awakening. Let's look at the verses now, page 79, verses of the elder Sona Kolivisa. If you miss whatever I say, you can just look at the number. You can see the big number 632, 633 and so on in the middle. And then you can look at the following pages. The numbers are all there, THA 632, THA 633 and so on. And that's the modern commentary explaining all the difficult terms and other details. Okay, the first part. Again here, when you look at the Theragatha, ask yourself, any verses, ask yourself, who is speaking? Right? So the first verse, for example, is spoken by the narrator. Sometimes it is the Buddha who is speaking. Sometimes it is the person himself who is speaking. Then it's a soliloquy. It's quite obvious. Look at this first verse. He was exalted in the kingdom in the service of the Raja of Anga. Today he is exalted in the Dharma. That is Sona, who has crossed over suffering. Yahu Rate Samukkato Ranyo Angassa Patagu Swajja Dhammesu Ukkato Sono Dukkhasa Paragu. This is sloka, like Dhammapada. You can sing it also if you like. He was exalted in the kingdom of Anga. Anga at that time was conquered by King Bimbisara. So it's called Anga Magadha. Right? So even in the world he's famous. Now outside the world, in other words in the Dharma, he's also famous, but in a different way. He has overcome suffering, he's crossed over suffering. The crossover suffering is one word, paragu. This is the thing about Pali. Some Pali words are pregnant, I say. In other words, they have a lot of meaning inside them. Just one word, paragu. Okay? Para means the other side, beyond. Gu is a short form for has gone or has gone over. So, in other words, when you look at the Pali word, it's a bit like Chinese, those pictographs. The ideas are there, so you fill in the missing words, which seem to be missing in English. Paragu is the one who has crossed over. Okay? Now, verse 2. Pancha chinde pancha jahe pancha chuttari bhavaye pancha sangatigo bhikkhu bogatinoti uchati. You should cut off 5, abandon 5, cultivate 5 more. The monk who has overcome the 5 ties is called the flood crosser. So you have another word here for one who has crossed over. This time the word is flood crosser. So you notice this movement. These are all what I call imagery of the journey. Okay, the first one, paragu, gone over to the beyond. Beyond, of course, is nirvana. And then here in the last line, 633, flood crosser. Oga tinno, or the stem word is oga tinna. Stem word means the head word you find in the dictionaries. Oga means flood. Tinna is a past participle meaning one who has crossed over. Tinna, gone across. Here the floods are the influxes, the 4 influxes. You can, if you're not sure, then you look at 633, you see all the details there. Okay, 633, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, and you go like that, 2.6, then you can see 2.6, the 4 floods. The 4 floods are the flood of sensual desire. They're called flood because sensual desire can overwhelm us, drown us in it. It's the flood of existence. We want to be this, we want to be that, become this, become that, this life, next life. And then the last one is number 4. Third is regarded as the third influx, that is ignorance. The oldest set are only 3. They're called 3 influxes. So you have sensual desire, existence, ignorance. Views underlie all 3. But in the later texts, especially in the commentaries, there are 4. So views is added in because views is a very difficult defilement, so it's added in as one of them. So they become the 4 floods. They are also called the 4 bonds because they bind us. So he has crossed over the 4 floods. So Nirvana is like an island. This person has crossed over the floods in a boat or raft called Dharma. Or more exactly, the whole action of going in the boat is Satipatthana. For example, in the what we call the parable of the water snake, this person makes a raft and then he goes on the raft, he paddles with hand and feet. This is significant, hand and feet. So there are 4 limbs. The 4 limbs represent the 4 focuses of mindfulness. Practicing the 4 focuses of mindfulness, this person crosses over the floods of the 4 floods to reach Nirvana. So I've explained the last line first. Look at this poem. There's a play on word 555. 4 fives actually. So imagine the ancient Indians, they love riddles. They say, oh, what are these 5? They're not mentioned directly. Okay. So you have to find out. You have to ask the teacher, what does this mean? So I've written on the board for you the cut-off 5, abandon 5. Actually, it's the same cut-off, abandon, the same thing. So the first 5 are the 5 lower fetters, right? The lower fetters, we have, what are they? Just read out to me, please. Yeah?
Something, the first 5 should be the 5 low fetters. I'm referring to the board, the label. Yeah, the one on the board. The titles should switch around.
Oh, lower, upper, lower, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the location. Okay. The listing is correct, huh? Okay, this is lower. This is that. Okay, the lower fetters, you start with the famous 3 fetters. First one is self-identity view. People tend to identify with their body or mind. And number 2 is doubt. They have doubt. They like to look for answers elsewhere. They say they don't know. They depend on others. And then number 3 is attachment to rituals and vows. That means looking for answers outside through actions that are external instead of looking within. And then number 4 is sensual desire. Very common. We tend to get caught up with our senses, physical senses, even our thoughts. Then evil is just the opposite. When we don't feel satisfied with these things, we are upset and so on. They're called lower fetters because they fetter us, meaning they tie us down to the lower world. That is the sense world. These are sense-based fetters. They fetter us to our senses. Right? In other words, kind of caught up in pleasures. Then the stream winner breaks the first 3 fetters. In fact, you don't have to worry about the 10. Work with the first 3. Once you break the first 3 fetters, you attain stream winning. Then you have all the energy and skill to matter of time to break all the other fetters. Then the once returner is one who weakens the 3 unwholesome roots: greed, hate, delusion. In other words, weakens the other 2 fetters also. So, but still not completely uprooted the 3 roots. So that's the once returner. I think the once returner is the same as the once returner who has one more life to go, I think. Because it will be one more life and then he's awakened. Then you have the 5 higher fetters. Okay, so we have attachment to form realms. These are meditators already. They get into wonderful jhanas and they say, wow, this is so wonderful. They want to live that kind of environment forever. This means that people who don't study Dharma may also attain such high, wonderful levels. They might not even be Buddhists. So if they do not have Dharma training, they think, wow, this is wonderful state, this is God, Godhead, etc. And they think that's heaven, that's paradise, that's eternity, whatever, and they want to be there forever. Okay? Then they are caught up with the eternalist view. Then the other one is, they say, oh, I don't believe in all this. No? I don't believe in rebirth, I don't believe in karma, and, right? That's the other extreme. Now, the next fetter, formlessness, is even more subtle, the higher realm where the mind is pure energy. Right? So some of these meditators can even go higher and they say, wow, this is heaven, this is God, and so on. So they want to remain there, be reborn there. Then comes the more tricky, subtle, what do you call, factor that is, what is it there? Conceit, that means measuring, mana, right? Even streamer, non-dreamer may look at others and say, oh, this people don't study Dharma and so on, how they get awakened. So, well, before that, the non-returner completely overcomes what we call this, the sensual desire and the opposite, what we call ill will. And so all the 5 factors are broken. That means the person is free from the sense world. And when he dies, he's free from the sense world, so he's reborn as a non-returner in the pure abodes. Okay, so that's the 5 factors, the lower 5. And then you have the higher factors. So I've spoken. Factor number 6, 7, 8 is conceit. Number 9, udacha, restlessness, right? So even what we call a non-returner may have some kind of restlessness, a dharma restlessness. I think this arises from compassion of the non-returner. For example, I remember the story of Jyotipala and Gatikara. Gatikara was a non-returner, so he's very concerned about Jyotipala. So I'm sure there's a bit of udacha there. So he was kind of like trying very hard to convince Jyotipala, who is the Buddha in a past life, in the time of Kassapa Buddha, to go and see the Buddha. So he dragged him by the waist cloth, and he undoes, Jyotipala undoes the waist cloth and breaks away. And then finally, Gatikara has to pull him by the hair, that what we call the pony. Gatikara has to pull Jyotipala by the ponytail, if you like. It's not actually a ponytail, it's on top of the head. Pull him there, say, no, we must go. And when he did that, Jyotipala thought, wow, this Gatikara is very serious. I mean, that's the most sacred part of the body, and he has to pull that. So he said, okay, I'm going to go and see the Buddha. Right? So you can see some kind of this concern. Even in the Strimina, there is Strimina, Vajjana, non-returner, there is this concern. So we cannot say the saints of the path does not have compassion. Right? Even the Strimina, non-returner, Vajjana, non-returner have compassion. And imagine the Arahats has great compassion too. So it's very bad karma to say the Arahats are not compassionate. It just shows that we never really study the suttas and then we slander the saints. So, and of course, you have this last one is ignorance, right? Ignorance here means not understanding the nature, the true nature of life, the form of the truth in all the aspects. So those are the 5 and 5. And then 5 more. 5 more is given to you on the other side. It's an extension of greed, hate and delusion, plus conceit and last one is ignorance, right? Views and ignorance. Right? Conceit and views. Yeah? So this is like a summary of the 10 factors, isn't it? If you look at it. So the meaning, the whole meaning of this verse is that Sona has overcome all these defilements and he's become an Arahat through practice of meditation. And there's a hint of this practice where they mention of the 5, another set of 5. It says cultivate 5 more, overcome the 5 times. Okay, cultivate, notice He cuts off 5, abandons 5, overcomes 5, but cultivate 5. Okay, the 5 cultivate obviously would be the 5 indriyas, the 5 faculties. Okay, the 5 faculties refer to meditation. Okay, especially a balanced meditation. So, in the 5 faculties, you can see 5 faculties here. 5 more is Panchindriya, okay? Faith, effort, mindfulness, effort or energy, and wisdom. The key indriya, the key quality there is mindfulness. Through mindfulness, we balance faith with wisdom, effort with samadhi, concentration. Okay? So in other words, balanced practice. So here in this point, in other words, we find an array of teachings, summary of the various teachings. Right, next verse 3. Unalasa pamatasa bahi rasayasa bhikkhuno silang samadhi panyacha pari puring na gacchati. For an arrogant, heedless monk who depends on external things, moral virtue, concentration, and wisdom do not win fulfillment. In normal language, we say, you will not progress in your training if you measure people and things and you're unmindful and you always look outwardly at things in the world. The words are all related. For example, arrogant, it means, the Pali word is unala, sometimes it's unata. Arrogant means measuring others, so also connected with mana. Measuring others means you keep wondering, how useful is this person to me? What can I gain by doing this? The gaining here, of course, are worldly things, not so much of spiritual things. And whenever we measure, it's always something external. The Dharma also can be externalized. In other words, for example, we start counting how many suttas have I studied, instead of really understanding the suttas. So it's not how many suttas we have studied, it's rather, having studied some suttas, do we feel the peacefulness? Has our life changed? Do we feel happier? In other words, sometimes even you read part of a sutta, you may not complete the sutta, but that part that you hear, you feel happy. For example, I'm working on all the suttas, knowing fully well, I'll never complete the translation of the Sutta Pitaka in this life itself, because it's very detailed. But the joy is in the opportunity to be able to translate whatever is before us. Because in this translation, sometimes I also translate the Vinaya, sometimes Abhidhamma. My focus is on the 4 Nikayas, but often I will also translate suttas from the 5th Nikaya. So the idea is not to translate the whole of the Sutta Pitaka, much less the whole Pitaka itself, but rather to have a taste of the Dhamma, to have an experience of what it is to really know the suttas, the Dhamma to the suttas in a very intense and experiential way, and that's really joyful. That's good enough. We don't have to be completists in our attitude here. And another important thing is we have started a style, a tradition of translating where we are not limited or given the urgency of the publisher's demands, right? Certain number of pages or certain style of writing. The whole process is experimental. After 15 years, we evolve this style where we are able to look at the suttas more engagingly. And we get a lot of feedback from people, and we try to adjust, improve the presentation in such a way so more and more people find the suttas useful. Having said that, you must have some level of intelligence and diligence to understand the suttas. I'm not saying if you're stupid you can't understand the suttas, but because stupid is so subjective, I would rather say if you're not diligent, you won't understand the suttas. An intelligent person might be diligent to the extent he's stupid. So the point is, as long as you're diligent, you will be wise through the suttas. The suttas will make you wise in a spiritual sense. Even in intellectual sense, if you study the suttas regularly. I mean, you don't have to go to university to get PhD, to really understand the suttas. Many of these great forest monks, they do not have any, they do not go to universities at all. So, the suttas is to be experienced, right? So once you understand the meaning of the sutta, and then you experience it, then you go deeper into the meaning, then joy arises. Alright, now next verse. Yang hi kiccan tad apa vidang akiccan pana kairati unnalanang pamattanang tesang vadanti asava. For what is to be done is left undone, but the not to be done is done. For the self-centered, the heedless, their mental influxes grow. Okay, there are two things in Buddhist training. You remember in the famous verse 183? I'm trying to link all these numbers with bus numbers I see. So when I see 183, I say, oh, that is Sabba Papasa Karana, the famous verse on not to do any bad things, to do good, purify the mind. This is the teaching of all the Buddhas. That's 183. Okay, but I've never taken bus 183. Okay, so the first one says Sabba Papasa Akarana. Okay, Akarana, not to be done. Another word is Akicca, not to be done. This is the first training. In fact, this is the basic training in moral virtue. Remember, in one of the reflections, I use a very simple words: say no, say yes, be silent. That's another way of saying it. Say no, that means don't do it. Don't do what? Don't do 5 things. What are the 5 things? Not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, not to lie, not to get drunk and drugged. Right? Don't say no to 5 things. And then say yes to 5 things. That's the opposite of it. The positive qualities, if you like, you can summarize the 4 positive emotions. In other words, practice meditation, calmness. And then be silent. When you have wisdom, you understand things, then you are silent. You are silent also because you are joyful. Right? So this is a very quick survey of Buddhism. So here, this person is not wise. What's to be done doesn't do, right? So you read a lot of books and start arguing and so on. Through the internet, I discover a lot of things. There's something I discovered recently. I call it intellectual fixation. Sometimes these are very clever people, even professionals. Sometimes they are fixed on a certain idea, and that's what they talk about. And they're not listening to other people. That's what's scary about it. They just want you to talk about this thing and answer this question. Nothing else seems to matter. So you never learn, really, right? So there's a kind of fixation. So what is to be done is left undone. And the not to be done is done. In other words, the mind is fixed on something, which is called abhinivesa, the fixation on an idea. And they are self-centered. In other words, I want to know this, the kind of idea. And because of that, there are mental influxes, as we already mentioned before, especially views. Okay, verse 5. Yesancha susamaradha nichankaya gata sati akichante na sevanti kiche satacha karino. But those who are very well intent, ever with body-based mindfulness, they associate not with the not to be done. They are doers of what is to be done. For the mindful and clearly comprehending, there are no mental influxes. Okay? Let me start two more lines this time. Pali, Satanang, Sampajananang, Attang Gachanti Asava. So it's got 6 lines. Okay, so here the well intent. In other words, if you really want to study the Dharma, your purpose is to clear the mind, attain some kind of awakening in this life, then you should start with body-based meditation. Body-based meditation. Here the word is Kaya Gata Sati, body-based meditation, but we can also include Kaya Nupassana. Right? In fact, all early Buddhist meditations start with the body. Right? It's based on the body. For example, the breath meditation. We watch the breath. Right? We watch our movements, and so on. We reflect on the 4 elements. So here, they do not associate with the not to be done. Not to be done means what? Breaking the precepts. Okay? Not to be done. In terms of the monk's way, not to be done is what? Not to use money, not to collect money, not to make a career of monkhood, not to abuse the faith and trust of the lay people, not to be lazy and live an easy, comfortable life as a monk, but to cultivate moral virtue, wisdom, to help educate the lay people, right? Because the lay people, they are very much like a herd, and the monks are like shepherds and cowherds. They lead the herd, and the herd just follow. The herd doesn't think, the crowd doesn't think. So a lot depends on the monk, especially if the monk is well respected, charismatic. So if he is exploitative, doesn't teach the proper Dharma, then the crowd will suffer, the teaching will suffer too. So that is not to be done. So we need the monks and the nuns to be diligent in their practice, in their examples, and their teaching to inspire the masses, so that the masses too will attain at least true meaning in this life. Then the next verse 6. Ujju magamhi akkate gachatama nivatata atana chodayatana nibbana abhiharaye. My eyesight is not so good now, so I have to look very carefully. The printing was quite faint here. Walk the straight path that has been pointed out, turn not back. You yourself should urge yourself on. You should attain nirvana. Oh, there you are. Very straightforward kind of advice from the Arahats, from Buddha himself. Right? So, if anyone says, "Oh, you can't attain nirvana in this life," right? But here you are. This verse, Theravada 637 says you can. Now let me explain. You can notice there are little letters on the right hand side, italics BA, right? Now always be curious. So what does that mean? Okay? What do you think it means? Any guess?
Which?
637. Yeah, can you see walk the straight path? Yeah. At the end of the line there is a B. And after that, pointed out, turn not back. And there's A. Any guess that? My style is such that if you really put your mind to it and you look at it, what could this mean? You'll get it. A, B. You see, A, B, C, D all refers to the 4 lines, the quatrain. First line is A, second line is B, third line is C, fourth line is D. Okay? So here I put the translation, I put B at the far right, and then next one I put A. And then further down, can you see 6 to 8, last 2 lines? At the far end you have D and then C.
No, ours don't have anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you just make a little mark by yourself? Okay? Put a little B after, at the end of walk. Give a lot of space. Walk the straight path that has been, and that's B, and then pointed out, turn it back, that's A. Okay, that means the first line actually is the second line in the Pali. And the second line is the first line in the Pali. That's the meaning. Okay? This is for people who are, the teachers especially, when you teach, this is like a musical score. In musical score, you have all those little chords, So I can imagine the teachers of the future will understand all this and say, it says, thank you, Pierre, for putting all these things so easy for them, Alright? Especially when you have to teach such a long sutta, all these little things help a lot. Okay, walk the straight path. What is the Pali word for straight? Uju. Uju can translate as straight, upright, direct. Remember in the chant, what chant do we have? Uju. Yes, some more? The reflection this morning? Uju Patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho. Right? The monks, the disciples of the Buddha, walk the straight path, direct path, upright path. Okay? So you can mean any of these three. So here, Sona says, walk the straight path. That has been pointed out. Turn not back. Do not fall back. So here, the path is said to be straight. But here's a mental idea of straight. In other words, your mind goes straight to the object of meditation. But very rarely paths are straight. Now there are roads that are called straight. But if you take a long road, and the A4 path is quite a long one, it can wind. But it still leads to the goal. Right? So we can also translate as direct. Sometimes a direct road also winds, but it goes directly to the goal. Other roads wind off the way, really way off, right? And then, there are 3 meanings here. So when you talk about moral virtue, then as Uju, we say the moral virtue, the person is upright with moral virtue, but it's still Uju. When we talk about, let's say, the mind in meditation, we can say the meditator goes directly, the mind of the meditator goes directly to the object. And then, if we have, then wisdom can be said to straighten things out. Wrong views are straightened out by wisdom. So you can apply these different English translations in this way. But in Pali it's the same word, Uju. So here, take the Noble Eightfold Path. Don't be lost by other ways. Don't take other vehicles and go down the road less taken. You will be lost. In poetry you can do that, but in real life, spiritual life, you take the road less taken, you're more likely to be lost. The other problem is turning back. Then you yourself must push yourself. You don't need anyone to do that. Because you depend on other people's pushing you. If there's nobody around, you will give up, right? So you must naturally want to be happy. Alright, you don't wait for people to tell you, I want you to be happy. No, you become happy. That sounds strange, right? And the goal is to attain nirvana. You might say, wow, nirvana is such a big goal. Don't think like that. Nirvana is not a goal, it's not anything. In real, the way of talking. It's just we want to be happy. You have anger, you want to let go of the anger. Once you have overcome the anger, anger is gone. That's called nirvana. It's very temporary. Imagine a situation where you will never get angry anymore because you know what emotions are, you are happy. Permanently, you won't get angry. Permanently, you are happy. Permanently, you are not suffering. Permanently, you won't be reborn, so to speak. That's nirvana. Okay? I think the theme for our next Sotapanna aspirant gathering in KL will be probably talk about nirvana, I think. Okay. Now comes the famous story of Sona. Okay, next section. Verse 7, THA 638. You got that? Accharatam hi viryam hi sattha loke anuttaro vinopamam karitva me dhammam dese si chakuma. Okay, this is definitely spoken by Sona. He says, when my energy was overstrained, the teacher unsurpassed in the world, the one with the eyes, showed me Dharma by teaching the parable of the lute. And okay, line C, the one with the eyes showed me Dharma. Then this one you can write the tiny letter D on the far right. And then the last line, by teaching the parable of the lute, you can put a small letter C. So in Pali, the lines are reversed. So here, Sona is recording a time when he was meditating in a solitary meditation. He tried too hard until his feet bled. He was doing walking meditation. Then the Buddha comes to him and said, remember, Sona, you were playing the veena, so you should tune the strings just right. So he taught him in the middle way. In other words, to keep the 5 indriyas, the 5 faculties balanced. And in that way, he attained awakening. Notice the word samatha, how it is spelled. Pali verse 8, line C. Can you see that? Samatang patipadesing. Okay? Samatha has got no H there. S-A-M-A-T-A. It's a very interesting word. Samatha means harmony, because a noun, evenness. Okay? It includes samatha, S-M-A-T-H-A, the practice of calmness also. So here, in other words, you practice such a way that the 5 indriyas, the 5 faculties are balanced. So Pali word is samatha. Okay, next verse 9, THA 640. Wait, did I miss anything? Yes, I think I missed 8, verse 8. Tassaham vachanam sutva vihasing sasane rato samatang patipadesing uttam mattasa patiya tissa vicha anupata katang buddhasa sasanam. Okay. Having heard his word, here's the Buddha's word, I live delighting in the teaching. Notice the word delighting. Expression of joy, happiness. I have practiced in an even way. Notice, I have practiced in an even way, samatha. So here, in other words, Sona practices his meditation in a balanced way, balancing everything. Faith with wisdom, effort with concentration. And in doing so, he attained his goal, highest goal, nirvana. And once he does that, the teaching is done. Okay? So we're on page 80 now, okay? Is it page 80? Yeah. Okay. And we are looking at verse 9 now, verse number 9, which is Theragatha 640. Okay, I'm going to explain 8 to you, right? Okay, verse 9. Nekkame adimutassa pavivekancha cetaso avyapajjadimutassa upadanakkhaya sacha. For one intent on renunciation and on mental solitude, intent on non-affliction and on clinging's destruction. Okay, it's not finished yet. You've got to read the next verse also. Nekkame adimutassa pave vikancha cetasa. Sorry, I should be reading 10. 10. Tanhak kaya dimutassa asamohancha cetaso diswa ayatan nupadang samma cittang vimucchati. Intent on craving's destruction and on non-confusion of mind, having seen the arising of the sense bases, the mind is rightly released. Rightly released, that means awakened. Okay, this is a double verse. The key word here is renunciation. If you really want to renounce the world, then what do? I was reflecting on this renunciation and order of nuns last few days. This was initiated by Bhikkhu Andajoti, his book on the stories of some what I call these foremost nuns. So it's published in a beautiful book for free distribution. So I've put the link on my Facebook. Our Facebook is a very interesting Dharma forum. It's a global Dharma forum with lots of information there. Then I also thought I should write sort of a reflection on my thoughts on the issue of nuns' ordination. People are discussing why can't we bring back the nuns' order? Why is it we cannot get nuns ordained again and so on and so forth? I think that's not the real issue. The real issue we have to ask ourselves, what is renunciation about? What is being a monk or being a nun about? That's what we want, right? Not just someone putting on robes, I mean, you can put on robe and then go to university, get paid as a lecturer. I mean, that's totally misusing the renunciation, the robes and so on. The purpose of becoming a monk or a nun is renunciation. Renunciation means letting go of the defilements to attain at least stream winning in this life. In other words, to renounce the world, to become a monk or a nun, is to at least attain stream winning in this life. This is a practical way of saying attain the path. The path means stream winning. Once returning, non-returning, arahatu. So you can do this whether you are a monk or a layman. Whether you are a nun or not a nun, you can still do it. The problem is who to get the teachings from. Right? It is best for, if you are a renunciant, to get a teaching from another path walker, one who is walking the path. In other words, a stream winner, once returner, non-returner arahat, if you can find such a person. What if you cannot find such a person? Then you have to aspire yourself, say, I want to attain stream winning in this life itself, and really be determined with it. Then you are guided by this thought. Then your actions also will be guided through the suttas in that direction. And then you will meet someone who is a stream winner or who has aspired to be a stream winner. Whether it's a monk or a layman doesn't matter, because what you want is the Dharma. The meaning is that it's the Dharma that liberates us. It is not the robe, it's not the ordination, it's not whether you're a monk or a nun that liberates you. In fact, sometimes if you become a monk or a nun for wrong reasons, you become a career monk, career nun, you won't be enlightened in this life. On the contrary, we're going downhill, we're going into a subhuman state. I mean, probably these Korean monks don't even believe in the Buddha's teaching. It's rather sad, because if you really believe and understand the Buddha's teaching, they won't be doing all these things. They'll say, oh my goodness, what am I doing to the robe? What am I doing to the Vinaya? I'm not keeping the rules. So there's a lot of ramifications here. So if we are determined to awaken in this life, whether we wear the robe or we wear civis, we wear normal clothing, we can still awaken in this life by practicing to reach the path. The simplest practice is reflect on impermanence. Samyutta 25.1 to number 10. So it's all there. So here there is the reminder for one intent on renunciation. So even as a layman, you can renounce. You may not renounce your family, your job, and permissible sensual pleasures, but you renounce greed, hatred, delusion on the gross level. You direct your mind to inner peace. You practice impermanence. Even as a layperson, you might be well ahead of the monk and nun in attaining stream winning in this life if you follow this way. So it's not a measure of whether you should be a monk or a nun or not. It's how intent you are in attaining stream winning in this life itself. That's the real question. So this verse reminds us of just that. For one intent on renunciation and on mental solitude. Mental solitude means keeping the mind free from all defilements. Intent on non-affliction, not getting yourself into suffering states, negative states, worldly states. And on clinging, destruction, clinging brings us all kinds of pain and suffering. And intent on removing craving and on non-confusion of the mind, keeping the mind clear. Having seen the arising of the sense basis, now we understand how the senses, how when we sense things, how this consciousness arises and so on. Then our mind will be truly free. Verse 11. Tassa samma vimutassa santa cittassa bhikkhuno tatassa patichayo atnati karaniyana vijati. For a monk who is rightly released, his mind is at peace. There is no more to add to the done, no more to be done. Okay, this verse describes the Arhat. It's like you have finished your work, nothing more to be done. The monk is rightly released, completely free, no more rebirth, no more suffering. His mind is at peace, no more trouble. No more to add to the done. In other words, he's already completed his training. No more to be done. Right? So this is where, in other words, the Buddha doesn't need to do anything. He can just sit back under the Bodhi tree and meditate until he evaporates and disappears. He can do that. But out of his great compassion, he decides to teach the Dharma to us. The Arhat too does not have to teach, does not have to do anything. He can just sit and meditate, and doesn't get food, it's okay. He sits and goes into deep meditation, comes out of his meditation, and he dies. His life is fulfilled. But he goes on to teach the Dharma. So there's nothing more to add to his life. So it is the wisdom that frees the Buddha and the Arhat. When the Buddha and the Arhat decides to stay in the world, that's compassion. The next verse is very famous, it's also found in Dhammapada, verse 12. Selo yatha ekaghano vatena na samirati evang rupa rasa saddha gandha passa cha kevala. The first two verses comes from Dhammapada 81. Just as a solid mountain of rock is unmoved by the wind, Even so, forms, tastes, sounds, smells, touches, and all. Then you have to read the last verse. Itta dhamma anitta cha nat pavedenti tadino titang cittang visanyutang vayan chasu napat pasati ti. Let me read both verses again. Even so, forms, tastes, sounds, smells, touches, and all states, desirable and undesirable, shake not such a one. And his mind stable, unyoked, he contemplates its falling away. So these two verses, THA 643, 644, closest the Sona Kolivisatiramata, it centers on the imagery of the solid rocky mountain unmoved by the wind. So this person, so here the description is of Sona Kolivisa's meditation. He sees all the experiences of the senses, form, taste, sound, smells, touches, and all states, even mental states, whether they are pleasant or unpleasant. He's calm towards them. He's unmoved by them. He knows them, but he's untroubled by them. His mind stable, not yoked to anything, not caught up with any worldliness. And it just reflects on the passing away. Okay? So this is the Arahat's view of life, if you like. And the verses end there. Now, let us look a bit more on this Arahat's consciousness, or even on a simpler level, meditation and time. This is one title I'm reflecting now. I'm thinking of writing something on this. The psychologists are doing some researches. There's some papers on interesting papers on meditation and time. I've read one, but I think they're still inaccurate, these psychologists. For example, this latest paper I read, the writers say that in Buddhist meditation, the meditator, if he does his meditation well, experiences time as expanding. He has more time. Well, in a sense, it's right. There's only one aspect. So in other words, if he goes to deep meditation and recalls he uses that meditation to recall some happiness in the past, he's able to recall more things. There's a better memory. I suppose to that extent you can say that yes, his memory seems to be better, to expand. But if you have done meditation yourself, you will notice it's quite the opposite effect, really. Because if you meditate and you enjoy it, what do you notice? Time flies. So there you are, you see. When a scholar writes without experience, you get very interesting results. It's not that they're totally wrong, but they're not totally right either. So, but anyway, they're improving. They're still learning all these things. I hope they will really meditate, attain jhana perhaps one day. So I would say both are right. There's something we can learn from their own studies. Why is it time seems to be crunched? Time seems to fly when we meditate. Okay, this goes to the bus stop where we wait for the bus and the bus we want doesn't come. And then when we say, how come this bus is so late? It's taking such a long time. We look at our watch. Assuming that the buses are regular, especially trains, they are regular, they keep their own timing. So the mechanical time is the same. There's no change to the time. Only thing is our expectation makes the time seems longer. So this is called organic time. So you've got mechanical time, or I call it tick-tock time, and you have organic time. See, we're going to finish our study already so fast. Of course, we enjoy the sutta. I enjoy it, but anyway. So you find, oops, this time is up. That's because we don't think in terms of time. Another explanation is we do not stay on a cognitive level. These are now useful to have all these modern terms. If you engage yourself on a cognitive level, what are you doing? What are you cognizing? You're cognizing through your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and in a sense also the mind. You're engaging with the world when you cognize things. What do you cognize? You cognize the world. Whenever you cognize the world, you must cognize in time. That's time, because it takes time, see? And the Buddha makes a joke of sex. He says sex takes time. In other words, sex is time wasting. So you will be enlightened if you do that, in one of the sutta, Sambhada Sutta. So you get caught up with the world when you cognize things. But when you meditate, in a manner of speaking, you stop the cognitive trend. You stop cognizing, but you begin to apply the affective experience. That's the problem here, that these mind scientists do not seem to have a word for the word affective. Affect is different. So we have to use a bit of a long verb there. So in other words, when you really meditate, you're enjoying, say, loving kindness, you're enjoying the peace of the breath, you're not recognizing it. You are experiencing it in an affective way. This is a bit technical. Simple language, you are enjoying it. There is joy. When there is joy, time doesn't apply. It's a very interesting thing to think about. When you don't enjoy something, time applies. When you're enjoying something, we say it's timeless. Remember? We like to use the word timeless or time-free. And nirvana is in a sense said to be time-free, death-free. Nirvana is not said to be deathless. Deathless means you compare, there is death, but there's no death here. But we say death-free. In other words, it's nothing to do with death. So this is a bit of reflection on time, just to give you an idea before I sit down to write the actual reflection to post on our Facebook. So if you are overseas and I'm still alive, you can still keep in touch with me on Facebook, facebook.com/Pierre-Tan. I think with the _Pierre_Tan. Anyway, just look up for my name and communicate with us, and join our Facebook and you can get some Dhamma teachings there. Okay, so with the advertisement, we end our study today. Okay, any questions or feedback? So you can see the Sona Kolevisa's elders verse, lots of teaching. Like I said, when you compare to many of the nuns' verses, the nuns' verses are more emotionally involved. We wonder we might do some more nuns' verses. We did Subha Teri's verses long time ago, I think. Just nice at timing. According to my watch, it's 12 noon. Any questions? You can ask general questions, Sakula.
Sentence here says, mindfulness keeps the harmonious balance between faith and wisdom.
What page is that?
Page 81.
81, yes.
Number 4. Page 81, number 4. Third line. Fourth line. Mindfulness, sati, keeps a harmonious balance between faith and wisdom. When we talk about faith in Buddhism, we're talking about
Yeah,
How does that relate to wisdom?
you can say belief in general. Faith as meaning belief, because from what you say, it's used in a broad sense. But faith as part of what I call the five faculties. Faith here refers to wise faith. But then again, you won't know it is wise faith unless you are wise. You need Dharma training. So in some meditators, they just have pure faith. Like for example, Wakali's faith, the initial faith is not wise faith. It is in fact, you might say, lustful faith even, because he was attracted by the Buddha's looks. So it's not wise faith. But even that brought him to the Buddha. To the extent it's wholesome. Only to the extent that it did not make him do bad things. So this faith has to be balanced with wisdom. In other words, in the case of say Wakali, as long as it's not Arahat, he has to reflect that, okay, this faith I have is not pure faith. It is more of a kind of physical attraction, and it's impermanent. I have to let go of this. That is to apply faith to it, balance it out. So in other words, in Buddhist practice, the teacher will begin where the student is and try to understand what kind of faith is it. So we are assuming the teacher is a serious, mature, and Dhamma-minded teacher. He will not exploit the follower's faith, but instead gently guide this person to become more mature. It's not easy. Very often it's easier to manipulate and exploit people with such faith.
So the faith is just wise faith. That means
Yeah, it can be.
you know what you're believing in or whatever.
Yeah, it can be either one. It's general. Generally, I would say, whether east or west, there is always this at the bottom of the pyramid. There will be this big group of people who are happy to follow without question everywhere. Wherever a religion is strong, people just follow. And they will find excuses to explain everything through religion without making an effort to change things. That is blind faith, unwise faith, and so on. So faith is belief. Belief without understanding, belief without knowledge. It starts us on the path, but it may keep us stuck where we are without wisdom. Faith is like you have the money, so you can choose whatever car you want, and you buy the car, and you don't know how to drive. So you need wisdom how to use this car. So someone has faith, he comes to the temple, but he doesn't know what Buddhism is, so he simply listens to whatever people are saying. So on Vesak Day, if you go around different temples, if you really know Buddhism, you'll be shocked what people are doing. Mostly are non-Buddhists and un-Buddhists. Non-Buddhist is not so bad, but un-Buddhist is worse. For example, Vesak Day is a precept day, Uposatha Day. It's the day when you should be calm and keeping precepts. Somebody online in our Facebook, he's a British guy, he says, Vesak Day I'm going to spend in solitary meditation, so you won't be seeing me on Facebook. Well, we all say sadhu, very good, that's the right way to celebrate Vesak, to remember the Buddha. Of course, in a temple's case, we can at least make it meaningful to people. People only come once a year to a temple. It'd be wonderful. Someone suggested you have a simple exhibition, of what Buddhism really is. Right? Which the people, okay, these are the things Buddhists do, Buddhists don't do, this is the meaning of the Buddha picture, Buddha image. It should be a Buddhist education day. It would really be good. But we often see Vesak as a kind of just dana collection day. So it becomes very worldly nowadays. So those are some things we need to think about. But it can change, of course. Some temples actually, they're working very hard in a positive way to change for the better. Any other remarks? All right, so In that case, we'll end here. Next round, we'll look at the Iccanangala Sutta and the Buddha's own noble dwelling, his lifestyle. Let us close with a short reflection. When we study the sutta, any suttas, we are reminded of the value of time. Time is valuable when it brings joy to us, because joy is a direct experience of our life itself. When we understand something, even if it is something painful like death, there is this joy in us, in a sense that we have gone beyond time. That moment is timeless, as it were, because we have understanding. And when you have this understanding, you do not fear such losses of death and so on, because you see the bigger picture. So understanding the suttas and the Dhamma, you see the bigger picture. And you know where you're going. And to know where you're going is a very wonderful thing with the guidance of the Dhamma. Reflecting in this way is wonderful, good karma. By the power of such good karma, may we be empowered with courage and wisdom to aspire to attain at least straight winning in this life itself. By the power of the three jewels and all the good things we have done, let us send out our loving kindness to our families and loved ones, people who have been kind and supportive of us. May they be well, may they be happy. And our loving kindness to all the people, all the beings in this place and temple. And all those who come here seeking happiness and peace, may they be at peace with themselves. And by the power of the three jewels, let us send out our loving kindness to all other people, especially those who are lost in seeking the truth. May they find the true teaching in the Buddha's Dharma in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.